multiplication. Tessa, would you come forward right now? This is Tessa Stallhood. She's one of the confirmation students at our church, and she's become very involved at her school in a program called Rachel's Challenge at Pattonville High School. There's an event taking place this week, and Tessa wants to tell you a little bit about it. So, Tessa, tell us about Rachel's Challenge.
Hello. At my school last year, right before I finished 7th grade, a man named Daryl Scott came to my school and spoke at an assembly. I didn't really know what was going on, so I didn't know what to expect when he came. Right when we got to the assembly, I see all my teachers, they have tissue boxes, and I'm like, whoa, what's gonna happen? And so it turns out Daryl Scott is Rachel Scott's father. So her father, her brother, and her sister go around and they speak about what Rachel did, like what she wrote in her diaries and how she would spread kindness throughout the world, like throughout with her peers and people that she knew. And within her diary, she has different quotes saying so much about how kindness and like being kind to people could like start a chain reaction. And when she was 13 years old, on the back of her dresser, she had hands like this. On the back of her dresser, she outlined her hands, and in her hands said, "These hands will someday touch the hearts of millions of people." Obviously, it wasn't her speaking saying that, like she touched the hearts. It's on me because being kind to people is something that some people have a hard time doing. So, then just a few weeks ago, I went to a workshop at my school. I was chosen to be in it, and it was talking more on the lines of being nice to people. And the speaker, his name was Stu, he was there, and he told us about his daughter, and at the time she was in 3rd grade, and they had hat day at their school. So she wore her crown because she always wanted to be a princess, so she wore her crown to school as her hat, and when her dad went to go pick her up, she took off her crown and handed it to him. And she said, "Daddy, I want you to throw this away." And he looked at her, he looked behind himself and looked at her and said, "Why do you want me to throw this away? It's your crown, it's your princess crown." And she said, "Don't you know, crowns are stupid and for babies." And really, he told us that he thought it was probably some 5th grade girls went up to her, this little 3rd grader, and told her, "Oh my goodness, you're wearing a crown," and started laughing, and then told her that, "Didn't you know, crowns are stupid and that they're for babies?" And that probably really hurt her because those girls were not being nice to her. And she's really young, so I mean, like, that would probably hurt her considering she was crying a lot. But, yeah, so that's happened. And another thing about Rachel is, the day she was killed, April 20th, her and her brother got in a fight. And, her and her brother were really close, and like they fought sometimes, but she had to drive him to school and he was late, so she was mad at him. So they were arguing and he started calling her names, and they didn't make up. And it was that day that she was killed, and he never got to say he was sorry. He never forgave him. He didn't forgive himself after a lot of years. It took him a while to forgive himself because that day that he didn't apologize, his sister was killed, so he never got to say goodbye. And when I learned that, it made me think that, what if I argued with my brothers, and what if I never got to say goodbye? What if I never said I was sorry? So that really kind of put another impact on my heart, and like, yeah, so the people who killed the students at Columbine, on April 20th, that's Hitler's birthday. So they were under the influence of Hitler, like that was their inspiration. And that's the day that they chose because of it, kind of like 9/11. They chose it for a certain reason. So really, I have a shirt that says "You just may start a chain reaction," and it has Rachel right at the bottom. And sometimes people come up to me, "Who's Rachel?" Was that like a quote or something? And starting a chain reaction is going farther than you would normally go, going beyond your limits of being nice to somebody. If you'd like to learn more about Rachel's challenge and what her challenge was, Tomorrow at Pattonville High School in the auditorium from 6:30 to 8 p.m. there's a community event. You can invite your friends, you can invite your family, but you're allowed to go and you can learn more about her and more about her story. So I think to sum things up, the one quote that I really like from her is, "You'll never know how far a little kindness can go."